Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloaded. And the bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Cause remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Welcome to another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Welcome to our Wednesday night open bar. Conversation is open, the bar is open, the drinks are flowing, guys. Let's get this party going. Before we truly get underway, though, I must throw out there, if you're looking for a place with good food, good drinks, find them on mlhdistillery.com, and you can find them on Facebook. Lost audio. Well, that's never a positive, right during all that, must know information. And by the way, hello, Miss Shannon. Oh, wait. Got audio now. Okay, did you just forget to turn it up? I'm sorry. Or did you have to change the battery in the aid? Gotcha. Understood. I love when you did the eyebrow raise like, oh, I can't believe he just said that. Shocker at this point. There is not one person that is not in my crosshairs. And that's what's fun about this. I always look forward to seeing people laugh. I like to get, a laugh out of people. Sometimes you got to push the boundaries, get a little rise out of people. I'm pretty sure last night we said how many times the women was unapologetic and unfiltered and said what was on their mind. But man, if the man says it, we're just being assholes. Is that pretty accurate? Fantastic. Well, we'll have to make sure to go back and do that one again, folks. Just not at this time. Week. Fun so far. I still say there's something in the air. Don't know what. But like I said, even yours truly can get saucy on occasion. Instead of going off on a rant, though, you know, let's hear from you guys. How's everybody else doing out there? We got quite a few viewers already. Some of you we have not got to talk to in a while. Some don't like to get on camera. I'd ask Kat, but I don't know. I can just see it in your eyes tonight. There, you know, you got this, you know. You got this whole Monsters Inc., you know, oh, behind the counter, I can do this look on your face. What is on your mind, Kat?
Nothing. We got heat today.
Did you get heat today?
We got heat today.
By the way, beautiful, you've got a big girl voice. Use it. Talk. That's what I try to remind people. That's kind of what we do. We're a talk show. And trust me, I know you've got a voice when you really want to use it. And what's fun is we've got this platform here. You know, talk. Air it out. I love it. You look side to side. It's like, oh, what's going on, JR? How is life over in Illinois? I don't know. I keep preaching about it, but I think we need dialogue. We need people to open up. That's the whole point of an open bar night. What would you like to talk about? How was your day? What pissed you off? What made you happy? Oh, our boy Blue says, feeling great after a big Grove City walk-off win against arch rival, the Slimy Pebble, Slippery Rock. I can't pick on them. That's my alma mater, unfortunately. 4-3, Grove City is now 5-2 and 3-0. Hey, real quick, we'll throw it out there. They are going to give Connor a long-term contract, they're saying. He's now going to be made official. Can't complain, I'm alive. I got a question for everybody. How do you weed out the fake people? Got some info today that was very interesting. I'm not going to go too in depth in it. But this is something, I mean, uh-oh. Men can be assholes and women can be beaches. It's when to use it and when not to. So on that note, when's the appropriate time?
Amen, sister.
What would you consider the appropriate time, Kat? I need the button. I need to hit the button on her. Just. I'm gonna get a rise out of you in one way, shape, or form, beautiful. We're gonna get. I'm gonna get those creative juices flowing. You're gonna get used to it. Here it is again. Ah, man, I'm disappointed. Oh, here we go. Haven't got to see a GC baseball game. You know what's fun about that? The park is literally right behind my house. I can walk there in like 10 minutes. And I've yet to see a GC baseball game either, buddy.
Well, her brother plays, but she's in West Virginia, so she's at school. She can't be here to see it. Next year, she'll have both brothers on the team.
You got to do what you got to do. It depends on the situation. You sit back and assess the room. Then you know when to step in. The only problem with that, who's ever, misunderstood or misread something or thought you read something and didn't, you missed this part. You catch it too late. It's reading a room isn't just, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch this for a second, and then it's on, or I'm going to walk in on something. No, in my opinion, you got to let it simmer. You got to get all the information. Take, for example, the info I got today. And this is years later, folks, verifies, certain aspects of an individual that I kind of suspected. More so not the situation at hand, but let me put it this way. When you saw this person interact with this other person or talk about them, it always gave a weird vibe. Always did. And usually the bullshitter is the one that is going to try and call everybody else, whether it's appropriate or not, to throw the attention off them. That's a very common thing. People love to do that, to try and find some way. I see it at work. I see it on a daily. You always find something. People love finding things to take the attention off of themselves. Light and whimsical tonight? Yeah. But at the same time, it's just kind of one of those, I need to find something. I need to get you guys going. Now, Shannon, how long do you give it before, you kind of make a determination? Is it a couple sentences? That's a common one. Like I said, my favorite one are the ones that love to walk in. They'll walk in, don't even know what's going on, hear a few things, and then, boom, they're on it. And that was my fingers. Trying to get used to it because I tell you what, I had a rough day. I am not feeling great. Sometimes this is where I go like this. Kitty cat.
I'm one of the ones, I can walk into a room and hear a few things and be right there, but my first thing of action is to say, whoa, calm down. What's going on? And then when both people start, then you say, whoa, time out, one at a time. You calm the situation down and you find out
Why you?
because I'm the peacekeeper. But I'm also one to hammer down if need be.
Again, that goes into, yes, hello, Jen. I made to give her the signs. I was not going to interrupt this young lady while she was talking. We're doing good. We're doing good. Just getting started, getting things rolling. Thanks for popping in, Jen. I tend to, I used to be like that. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not finally sitting my ass down from this damn bathroom remodel. Do we take that in the literal sense? I'm telling you, when we do the bathroom remodel, I'm going to be the first one on the toilet. I'm sitting down. I am going to... And you know what? I think you had a little bit of help. You had 2 jars of peanut butter side by side. You drew faces on them. I never would have guessed that you had any drink last night whatsoever, brother. First one to fall off of it, too. You don't know what they are. But at least he remembers. He took one little part of a story. And now this kind of goes along with what we're saying. He took one little part of a story that who knows when he popped in on it and went, he said he liked peanut butter. Game on. And therein lies the problem. You know, you can't, I don't think there's anybody out there that can turn around and go, maybe with prior knowledge of a situation. I can go to a party, know anybody, and meet a lot of new friends. Cheers. I like it. I've been known to do that a time or two myself. You know, maybe if you had like prior knowledge of what's going on, I don't think anybody can really sit down and say, a couple sentences, I know what's going on. Maybe ahead of time, because I mean, honestly, that's a little arrogant to sit down and say, I'm that good. I can look at something and read. But see, I can say that because I used to be that way. And as far as, you know, maybe to stop a fight, that'd be one thing. Like if they actually were throwing hands and disrupting the herd, that's one thing. But, I mean, in all honesty, that's between 2 other people, 3 other people, a group of people. That's, in the end, that's really not our business to jump right in. Sometimes you just gotta let nature take its course and just kind of sit back and go, saw it, I understood. We are doing awesome. What's going on, KD? See, Wednesday night, there's our boy. Dude, most of the time like clockwork, I love it. But I'm just gonna keep throwing out little side notes on these. I mean, again, prior knowledge, you can know of the situation. You can have a good idea of what's going on. But, you know, I've walked into many arguments and been like, okay, like tomorrow, I guarantee I'm not going to say when or why. But there's going to be a storm cloud. Very interesting. And this is, you know, I guess this kind of goes hand. Sometimes you got to pay the piper. You got to be careful what you say, how you say, what you do.
I ain't in it, so I ain't worried about it.
You ain't in the situation I was referring
Yes.
to?
I'm not affected by the storm cloud.
So then that brings me to a question. So maybe we can elaborate on a previous statement. You might know the people. And it would be like she said, the situation. Okay, so let's say we're at the club.
Okay.
You see something happening. You gonna mom a cat and go over there?
Depends on the situation.
Okay. Like, give an example of a time you might want to step in.
One, if voices are getting raised where it looks like it's going to escalate too far.
Okay.
And if there's nobody else there that has any pull to de-escalate the situation.
Ah. There's always going to be a bartender.
Yeah.
So you'd be willing to step on the bartender's toes, even though, let's say it's not our, close ones. Because flip the script. Somebody else did that to you.
It depends on the bartender.
But why?
Because one, I can understand and see handling no problems.
Okay.
Another bartender, I would say, can handle, but is very passive about it and will not.
I thought we were. Hey, JR, check it out. This is called Discussion Conversation. Welcome aboard. So, what if I told you?
If I walk into a place that I don't know people that are in charge, say if we go to the old place
Ah,
up there,
ah,
I don't know the bartenders there. I know a few of the bouncers. If I see a situation escalating that's a little bit more than a normal drunken argument kind of thing, I will draw attention to it and say, maybe keep an eye on that to one of them
okay.
and just sit back and make sure I'm out of
The firing line.
firing range. Yes.
So the very first time I ever DJ'd at All Stars, everybody was super stoked about me being in there. They'd already met me at the Oil Boom, so, we knew each other. I'd gone in a couple times, talked to them. So the very first night, it almost lived up to its reputation. All bars have the assholes. This particular one wanted to arm wrestle everybody. My friend Doug was there. There was a whole bunch of people. Chris was there, Dennis was there. We had a hell of a crowd. And Sarah was there. And this dude would not quit. He was literally pissing off everybody at the bar. Now, the bartender, multiple times, got on to him. And it seemed like every time she did, now bear in mind, this is a place without a bouncer. Every time she would tell him, he felt like he had to ramp it up. Wouldn't stop. And it was getting to the point where people were starting to leave. So I felt, okay. I paused the music, got on the mic, didn't get in his face, but I did. Through words. It's like, hey man, at this point, you've come over, you've disrupted me, you've disrupted these people. She's already told you. I said, you're ruining the party for everybody. People are leaving. Nobody around here deserves what you're trying to do. They don't want to play the high school game of arm wrestling. Have a drink, sit down, leave people alone. Turn around, hit the music. I got accolades from a bunch of people for doing that. So instead of getting physical, I thought, okay, I'll try and use this platform. The bartender was even appreciative. She thought that was hilarious because he actually did quit. And of course, the missus sitting right beside, I can't believe you just did that. Well,
In situations like that, like
there's
Okay, so say we're at the club. At our and there's a situation that's getting, and either one of the known bartenders have addressed it multiple times in the situation. And that would be when I go to that bartender and say, would you like me to try to de-escalate, or are you just going to pull the plug and tell them to go? I'm not going to insert myself without being told, yeah, go ahead and try. And I've had to do that with at least 2 people down there. And I've actually been, the first time I did that, and I went up to our favorite bartender down there, and I said to him, do you want me to try? And that's when he said, go for it. And I managed to de-escalate the situation a little better without having anybody 30-dayed. So the next time this same individual started getting ramped up, and I happened to be in there, all I did was look over towards the bar, and it was a different bartender. And I said, just kind of put my hands up, like, what do you want? Done, kind of thing. And that's when that bartender approached me and said, you took care of it last time. Can you do it again?
okay.
I can try as long as you have my back if it doesn't work.
So in other words, you don't just, you know what? I'm standing. You know, I'm a standing member here. You don't just jump right in like a bull.
No, unless it's my family.
Now that's a fun one because you can't fault anybody for standing up for family. That one I will give.
Yeah, if it's my family, or I'm getting concerned, especially for Blue. If I see, and I know Blue can handle his own, but I'm very, very protective of Blue because even though he can handle his own, he physically can't, but mentally still thinks he can. So I'm extra. I know. His assisted walking devices always come in handy.
I can see it. It'd be like Zorro, be like, He's gonna attach a chain to the end of that thing. He is going helicopter, helicopter, helicopter.
Actually, the last time is he actually
Hey,
had.
keep your shirt on there. We know
He
you got
had-
muscle. You're good.
He had his wheelchair, his electric wheelchair. I ended up being the one to get hurt.
I'm not gonna lie.
He ran over my foot.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I love the man to death, but if I see him pissed off, putting that thing into 4-wheel and just going full bore, swinging his, his walking devices and everything, that's gonna de-escalate this situation. I am going, because I'm gonna be on the floor laughing, if not trying to video this. Yes, I would be one of those idiots that, I got to. Friends and family, I would die for that. All right. So yeah, there are, as we stated, there's always exceptions. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So, like I said, the people were appreciative. The bartender was appreciative for what I did. I had a sit down because we were trying to discuss certain, we were trying to, set up certain things for DJ nights and everything. And I brought up, the situation. Now, the head manager was not very impressed. It's the bartender's job, not the DJ's. And I thought, well, okay. I thought by doing a passive aggressive, so, that's why I said, instead of like getting pissed off about the situation, I thought, okay, I can understand your point of view, but at the same time, I'm there trying to, for business. If there's no people, there's no need for a DJ.
Right.
She'd already asked a bunch of times, and people were leaving, fights were getting ready to break out, so I felt, why not? And I think one of the things that shocked everybody was, it was the very, with it me being the brand new first time in there, kind of. So, I mean, I'm to the point now where I'll sit back, I'll let it go, because, honestly, most of the time, you can say, well, there's 2 grown adults, 3 grown adults, they're...
Maybe grown adults, but that doesn't mean they're adults.
Tomato, tomato. Everything we say on the show is just our opinion. But on that note, since Miss Kitty Cat does needs an opportunity to sit down, get a few bites in, because guys, later on tonight, for those of you that are on TikTok, you're gonna want to check out tonight. It's going to be very interesting. So we are getting ready to play another song by a group that will be headlining. Kitty Cat, you want to show them the picture real quick? Sorry, Sweetness. I was trying to catch you before you got that far in.
What's up? Kentucky Music Mafia. Cliffy D. Here we go. Come on, let's go.
Come on, girl, it's time to get loose. Turn around, let me see like a blues. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down. Come on, girl, it's time to get loose. Turn around, let me see like a blues. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down.
I'm here tonight to make all the girlies shake it, twist it, bend it, as long as they don't break it. Get it, girl? Let me see you shake a little more. I wanna see you drop it down to the floor. Now bring it back up. Yeah, that's the shit right there. And she don't care, that's why she's doing this. She wants you to stare. She brought her friends up in the club tonight so they can get wild. Go all out. Look at them there and heat right now. Yeah, they some bitches get our attention with carnal intention. Give the dishes, freaky positions. I'ma make it my mission to ensure that all these females giving all that they got. Earning them shots, how you gonna drop it if you like it or not.
Come on, girl, it's time to get loose. Turn around, let me see like a blues. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down. Come on, girl, it's time to get loose. Turn around, let me see like a blues. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down.
What's up, baby? You look fine. Look at me, baby, straight in my eyes. In the club, do you know about me? I lay you down and make you beg for me. Make it shake, make it scream, make it shiver. Get your girl flowing like the river. Shannon Joe knows how to work it, but I've been on to kinda hurt it. Slide it in and make it go real fast. And slow it down and smack it on your ass. I'm an animal off in bed. I promise you I won't miss with your head.
Come on, girl, it's time to get loose.
Turn around, let me see that caboose. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down. Come on, girls, time to get loose. Turn around, let me see that caboose. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down. Come on, girls, time to get loose. Turn around, let me see that caboose. Let them know it's about to go down. It's a good time, redneck, hold down.
Welcome back, guys. That was Hoedown by the Kentucky Music Mafia. And thanks to the viewers, we have learnt a valuable lesson. This is something we've done before, guys. So we were trying something new. You know, last night everybody has fun when we put the little pictures up, and you know, like Hooper and Chris the other night, they were up there both pointing at the picture, and we had Sam do it, and so apparently over the multiple updates with the streaming program we use, now it's to the point where if we drop ourselves out, it takes us out of studio altogether. So when I did the previous commercial, and then we were trying to talk about the Kentucky Music Mafia and the Nashville show, they didn't even get to hear me pick on them. Whew. You live and you learn, folks. You live and you learn. So we got to switch gears a little bit because me, personally, I got to eat. We got to give somebody else a chance to put some food in their gut because it's a Wednesday night. Chances are I'm going to be pushing stuff towards her. Try this, try this, try this. We got to... So at least having a little something in her stomach is going to be beneficial. But here comes the famous line, adulting. I don't get to do the sleep in tomorrow. I get to sleep in a little bit, but not much. I just got told that, I guess the message came out, we're going to have people over at 10 a.m. to start working on the sink. And then, noon is when we have to have other people come over because we made a purchase. We got the drainless, saltless water filtration that was supposed to still help soften the water and condition the water, and yet it wasn't working. So we did the whole test the water. Or we took it in, had them test the water, and they went, yeah, it's not working. Which they said has happened before. They said they're either going to have to replace it, or we're going to have to go with the one we didn't want to go with. Again, the adulting world. And yes, Miss Sam, I'm still going to make sure there's time for you, beautiful. So, yes, the countdown has begun. There's a little bit of, let's say, angst going on because I clued you in on a specific person, and as it turns out, yes, they've put in for it. Making things really interesting. I got you, sweetness. Tell Drewski he needs to cheer up, man. It seems like he's been kind of on the lately. Well, not sick, just kind of like in a mood. He still laughs and jokes, but you can tell like there's something. I don't know if it's actually work. Man, you know, I remember growing up, my mom and dad sitting down and discussing work and having a conversation over dinner. Me and Sarah don't have that. We try, but we don't. Like, you know, we'll say, oh, I had a bad day, talk about, you know, or one person will air it all out. The other person will throw a couple anecdotes in there, and that's about the size of it. We don't even sit at the table. One sits on one sits on a couch. I sit in my love seat or my recliner. The other one sits in the love seat. That's. I got to thinking about that. I'm like, you know, man, where's the conversation gone? You know, how many times I've said it a million times, and it kind of that's one of the kicks I've been on this week. You know, we try and engage you guys. Nobody does. Surely somebody still sits at the table. Really think the only thing we use it for now is to put food, you know, like if we have a bunch of people over, that's where we set the food up. Everybody goes in and goes and finds a place to eat. Sam says they eat on the couch too. You're good. So you got, okay, well, just so you guys know, she was saying that at her parents' house, they all sit down and eat. And, you know, when I went to my grandmother's, you know, everybody sat at the table. There was a little bit of conversation, but, you know, man, I realized my family's just like everybody else's anymore, man. We get cliquey. Some people stay at the table, have a few, have a little bit of a conversation, and others go to this corner, and others go, you know, another group goes here. Others go downstairs to play pool. I mean, it's nuts. Which, that's where it really starts getting fun because, you know, at least with us, and I was saying it earlier, we have a platform to use where we can kind of air out, you know, if we're having a bad day, you know, and that's one of the reasons, like I said, that was the main reason we started Wednesday Night Open Bar. And thank you. It just, you know, it's really hard when you get like pissed off at home. You know, they always say, don't take work home with you, don't bring home to work. But I tell you what, when you know, this is why I'm a firm believer in communicating, with conversation, with, you know, we were talking about this just the other night. You really need that outlet in some way, shape, or form, because I tell you what, like I said, there's been something in the air lately. Different clicks, just like at work. Well, I beg to differ on that one, only because I am lucky enough to work in a place where we're all one giant clique. I mean, believe it or not, everybody still talks to everybody, but that's the perk of working in a place that only has like maybe 15 people in there at a time. If that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 13, yeah, pretty close. So, I mean, you're bound to run into each other on a regular. But this is just one of the things I like to push about Wednesday nights, man. And I love the fact. Thank you, Shannon, for popping in there. Sam, you too, JR, all you guys. See, I mean, even on my end, you know, I'll get to talking with Kat, or I'll get to talking with somebody, you know, just at the bar, and it's like, okay, let's. I need to engage you guys and get you involved in the conversation. So I'm constantly looking for ways. And yes, Sam, Shannon, we could still pick back and forth, by the way. So there's that. You know, that should have been left for tomorrow night, our thoughts and shots, because then I could, you know, that's my thought, now I do my shot. And I'm out. I don't know. I'm not real big on. I sat down and watched the news tonight only because, like I said, I got some information. I'll leave it at that, guys. So I wanted to see if it was, you know, big enough to make the local. Did it make the Butler radio? Yes, it did. You were cooking dinner? Cooking dinner, you know what? I took advantage of getting home at 4 and tried to get a few other things done. The one thing I should have done was get on the damn computer and clear some room. But then again, getting on the computer also includes downloading. We're both sleeping in your job. On that end, brat. Enjoy, don't choke. On Blue. I would say that when she puts a big slab of meat in her mouth right there. Good job, me. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something nice. I'm going to cook dinner. And then I got to looking at the time. I'm making phone calls. I'm trying to get, as much done as I can before coming out here. I even got to come home early today. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to run up, get my shower while the oven's preheating and everything and blah, blah, blah. I thought, I'd do the, just, it still didn't feel complete. So tonight was a simple night. It was, just throw pizza in the oven and say, here you go, guys. But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm going to keep throwing them out there. Dude, even JR, man, I love, Bobby Ryder is a fun one. I'm gonna call him out, throw him under the bus here a little bit. Very interesting guy to get a conversation going with. Wish we can get his little punk ass in here on a more regular basis. She made hamburger helper. Shannon, what'd you have, sweetness? You might as well. We're all cluing in. I mean, hell, these two are sitting here enjoying their steak sandwiches. As you hear the... Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting you're off. Steve's 6'9" is like, I'm eating it on the couch. Did you find your peanut butter, buddy? I guarantee you did, and you got Chieffer in your lap at the same time, don't you? I knew it. But that also explains, we did throw an invite out last night, if I remember correctly, and somebody said, oh yeah, I'm going to be there for tarot cards and whiskey the next night. Leftovers, ham, mac and cheese. The only thing missing is pierogies, beautiful. True Pennsylvania cuisine. But, I mean, it's not just, conversing at home, I remember when I was working at the prison where the warden said, I remember when I was a CO, we used to come in almost a half hour early so we could all sit down, bullshit, shoot the shit, and have a good time with each other and laugh and joke before we went on. I don't see that at all. Then you drank on until 3 a.m. Good job, buddy. You savage. Been there, done that myself. I plan on having fun tonight, but it's not going to be a rager. Which is no fun because Wednesday nights are our epic nights. Everybody comes on. We call it the Howard Stern effect. What's he going to say next? Most of us anymore, I know of a couple people that still go in like 15, 20 minutes early to kind of chill and hang out. I'm spoiled with living literally 100 yards away from where I work. So it's a habit I swore up and down I was not going to get into when I first took this job. I'm like, okay, I'm literally right there. I can, it's going to be easy. It's a place I can... hamburger. I eat a hamburger in a bar. Ain't nothing wrong with bar food, homie. But then I started getting complacent. I started getting spoiled. And I'm like, sleep. I can walk there in less than 10 minutes, So if I give myself 15 minutes to get ready, and it's a habit I'm trying to get back out of. Because the earlier I go in, because of the weird schedule I've got, I always have to try and make up like an hour or at least a half hour now just to make the 40. So let's say I go in 15 minutes early 2 days in a row, then the rest of the time I can go ahead and just go on autopilot, you know, go in when I'm supposed to, clock out when I'm supposed to. And don't have to worry about too much because, especially right now, but it is picking up big time. And right when it started picking up, of course, life always happens. What are they doing on Main Street? Right in front of the establishment. So it does slow people a little bit trying to get in and out of there. They're like, well, maybe I'll just wait until they're done. I don't even know. What are they doing? Nobody knows. I don't know. All I know is they're tearing up road. Hopefully they're putting in a better internet. Cheers. They have to be doing something because we actually had to jump to the hotspot tonight. Because even before we got going, it was like, yeah, no. Hour early every day, even when I'm staying in a hotel. So why, you know, I can understand 10, 15 minutes. Why an hour? I mean, is it Hooper's favorite word, the camaraderie? Is it, you know, is that just you live far, you're staying far enough away that you don't know what's going to happen between here and there? My uncle was a teacher at BC3, and he lives in Clarion. So Clarion, Butler, it's a nice little haul. He would leave 2 hours early every day because, like he said, you never knew what was going to happen in between. And trust me, when I was, you know, I used to have to drive 60-mile round trip, 30 miles to work, 30 miles back from work. Shit weather, construction, you didn't know. And it happened so frequently.
I'm always one of the ones that believes if you're on time, you're late.
I can agree with that, but here's a problem with that. What's the point of drinking coffee in the lounge, waiting for the other guy? Okay. Now, see, that... What's the point of having a schedule if that's going to be the mentality? Because even some of the bosses are like, well, if you're on time, you're late. When I worked at this one factory, Colinx, or warehouse, everybody would line up because we knew we can clock in at 10 minutes till. And then everybody would already be lined up. So right when it was time to go, that number would hit, and you knew it was time to leave because the first person would scan, walk on, scan, walk on, scan, walk on. You know, it just went down the line. But other than that, you know, what's the point of having a schedule? You're scheduled to come in at 8, start at 8, okay. As long as you're clocking in and getting to your station at the time.
But you always have to prepare.
And I had this conversation with Mike. Hello, Miss Hoover. I have to be there at 9, leave at 8:57. Old saying. You give people an inch, and those people will take them. Yeah. So here's where it's fun. You know, we open at 7:30. I think it would be more prudent to have people, their scheduled time to come in is 7:20 or 7. That way you're there a half hour ahead of time. You're supposed to be there a half hour ahead of time. Must be, you know, schedule it that way, because then there's those ones kind of like, you know, me. Like I said, I'm that guy that, and I'm trying to break this habit. You know, instead of, because I had a routine. I'd come in. A lot of times, yeah, it's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. First thing in the morning. You know, I'm old, okay? Get a cup of coffee. I'd shoot the shit with the guys up front and then go. Can't exactly do that when you're the opener because, you know, when they open at 7:30, you know, you need to have everything out the door, all the machines on, so on and so forth. So your part was correct on that aspect of it. But I think it would be more prudent then to have people coming in at 7. That way they can come in. All right, you're on the clock, dressed, and it's before the doors open. So you have time to go around, check the machines, get everything set and ready. And at 7:30, that first vehicle, boom, you hit the button, doors open, here you go. Something I have to bring up to, like, you know.
See, no, that would make sense. Yes, that have your employees need to be there before you actually are scheduled open to the public, so that way they can have everything set and ready and people aren't waiting in line. What I'm saying is you have to be ready to be able to clock in is I know you go in, grab your coffee, you have to go to the bathroom, you want to sit and talk for a few minutes. So that's where it would be productive for you to at least go over 10 to 15 minutes before you're supposed to clock in so you can get your stuff done before being on the clock, because they're not paying you to drink coffee and go to the bathroom.
That's the fun part too, Sam. Hang on. Raised that way, never know what might happen to it. Yeah, okay. If they start having workers in it at 7, how long before the higher ups, you know, start going, maybe we should just go ahead and open at 7. I agree and I disagree. Because honestly, I think there might be people there at 7, but I doubt it. Maybe during the sales and stuff, possibly. But that's only if we let people know, hey, we got people there at 7. Because I'm pretty sure the guys up front are there at 7 and getting, you know, everything set up and checking everything out. Schedule people that way instead of saying, okay, well, we open at 7:30, at 7:30. That's when your schedule start. Because then basically what you're asking us to work off the clock, come in early so we can get everything set up and then clock in. I mean, just throwing that out there. On that note, though, I knew. See, I was hoping you were going to be in, brother. So before we wrap this one up, what do you think of that idea? And if not all the openers, at least one opener has to come in at that point.
And I wouldn't even give it a whole half hour ahead of your opening. How long does it take to get the lights on, the machines turned on, everything set for one person?
Well, okay.
Can you get it done in 15 minutes?
Possibly. But, I mean, there's other processes you're supposed to do. You know, you still got to get the chains out there, make sure that people don't drive where they're not supposed to drive, get the cones out, get the lights on, make sure the machines are calibrated, make sure, you know. He's been here the whole time, just quiet. Make sure there is video of a storm tomorrow. I'm going to think about it, you know, while I'm staring at the back of my eyelids. 15 minutes, says Ray. So, yeah. John, what do you think of the idea? I mean, at least one person coming in scheduled 15 minutes prior to everybody else. And just, like, kind of rotate it out, you know, with each opener. That way, if they're scheduled, then, you know, if they're anything like me, they're going to wait to that last second. So they come in, they clock in. Okay, we know these doors aren't open yet, so I got to get back there now and get everything up and going. Here's one thing, though, that I do that I don't know if anybody else does this. I understand that, sir. But when you're, you know, speed bay openers, just throwing it out there. You have 2 openers every morning. One of them comes in 15 minutes early. That way they can go back, get the lights going, and get the machines on, get everything set up. Go through the process. Like I said, I'm trying to be proactive here, buddy. The one thing I do have over in Ray, John, am I the only one that comes in fully dressed and ready to go? I'm the only one that doesn't use the changing room. I take, you know, kind of not supposed to, but I do. You know, I got to change the clothes at home. That way I can get up, get my clothes on. As soon as I hit that door, I'm running. Just food for thought, brother. Food for thought. So on that one, guys, we are going to wrap this one up. But apparently, since we missed it the first time, we apologize, folks. We did not know. But if you're looking for good food and good drink, look no further than Grove City. Yeah, MLH here in Grove City, Pennsylvania, the official sponsor of Another Shot podcast. The address is 107 Breckenridge Street, Grove City, Pennsylvania, 16127. The phone number is 724-264-4959. The hours of operation, yes, they will be changing and adding days. Fridays, 5 to 11 p.m. Saturday, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. All these delicious bottles you see on your screen, you can purchase right there at MLH Distillery, or you can check them out at mlhdistillery.com. Guys, while you're enjoying your drink, make sure you try one of these tasty morsels. Their homemade Italian wedding soup, 3 meatballs, hot sausage and peppers, spinach artichoke dip, the Tuscan white bean hummus, antipasto skewers. They are a cocktail style bar, so yes, make sure you try one of their old fashions, the whiskey sours, my personal favorite, the mint julep, kitty cat.
Black or white Russian.
Yes, guys, they have rum and cokes, pina coladas, mojitos, and many, many more. They have wine, they have seltzers. For you non-liquor drinkers, yes, they do have beer. And for you non-alcoholic drinkers, they do serve select sodas. So make sure you check them out at MLH Distillery right here in Grove City. You can find them at mlhdistillery.com and on Facebook. Can you hear me now? It is that. Yeah. So there we go. Kitty cat, you got one on deck?
Yes.
Let's hear it, beautiful.
You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step.
Nice. Shannon, you're usually good for one. You got one up there, sweetness. Guys, while we're getting ready to wrap this one up, make sure you check us out tomorrow night for our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots. We got our Sunday night weekend hangover, Monday night bartender, our Tuesday night real flicks and chill. Wednesday is going to be it's going to be a little different. The more you sweat and practice, see, we missed it last night. The more you sweat and practice, the less you bleed in battle. Or as John would say, don't sweat the petty, pet the sweaty. Yeah, next week's going to be a short one, folks, because we will be going live. Yours truly leaves Wednesday. Thank you, sir. Yours truly leaves Wednesday to get a few days in ahead of time. Give Sarah some time to peruse with the family for a little bit. The beautiful voice you hear behind the scenes leaves Friday. Uh-oh. Apparently there's a conversation. So, we will be going live from the Troubadour in Nashville for the Kentucky Music Mafia, the Southern Outlaws Band, and Mr. Joe King. Unfortunately, folks, you're just going to have to catch it online when we stream it because they sold out in 2 weeks and you're just not as cool as us to get the backstage passes. It's definitely going to be a good time. Can't wait. I don't know what's going to happen with, you know, we promised, or well, we were at least planning on having 3 people, then it went down to 2, and then actually, if you've been following the post, you know, something happened to where even one of the people that I've been talking to had a little bit of a situation at his house. So, it's going to be just next Saturday. But we're going to try and have we'll keep the party going, I promise you guys. For those of you on TikTok, you are not going to want to miss this one. We are doing a collab with another couple people that we met on TikTok. So if you like whiskey and tarot card readings, don't miss. It's going to be a fun one. Our boy Norse Druid's going to be coming on there doing tarot card readings, yes and no questions. Of course, it all depends on how you tip the reader to what he does.
Yes, he's trying to get money together to do final services for his mother.
We just need gas money, guys. So on that note, I want to thank every one of you guys for popping in tonight. Hell of a good conversation. We're getting better at this. I love it. So, on that note, there are good ships, there are wood ships, there are ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Here's to all of you out there, guys. Everything we say on this show is just our opinion, but then again,
it could just be the alcohol talking.
I'm going to tell you what, Kat, your bone structure is giving my bone structure. You guys have a good night. Cheers.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloaded. The bar is always open, but no